Hey everyone, my name is Sarah and I am a mom to a now 8-month-old son named Bradley, and I wanted to make this video to talk about sleep training, our experience, and more specifically the Ferber method of sleep training. So what the Ferber method is basically a method of sleep training that should get your baby to sleep through the night in as little as 3 or 4 days. And it's somewhat controversial because you do include the method of letting your baby cry it out for a limited but very specific amount of time before you go in there and just check on your baby. But the goal is to have your baby learn how to self-soothe, and that does include crying. So let's just jump right into our experience and why we chose to do the Ferber method of sleep training. So my baby Bradley, he was never a terrible sleeper, but he's never been a great sleeper either. He's definitely been back and forth with being able to sleep through the night and then not sleeping through the night. And so by about 3.5 months old, he was doing really great, slept through the night, and then we hit the 4-month sleep regression time. And so from about 4 months through about 6 months, he gradually was getting worse and worse with sleeping through the night and how many times he'd wake up, if he was waking up because he was hungry or just wanted attention, or just wanted, to be soothed by mom or dad. So by about 6.5 months, I was getting ready to go back to work, and I knew that we needed to work on some sort of sleep training. We'd never really been consistent with anything, and so I was like, well, why not just look into the Ferber method a little bit more and follow it to a T. And from what I had read, by night 4 your baby should be able to sleep through the night. So that's what we did. Basically for Bradley, he would go to bed around 8:30 or 9, and then typically he'd wake up around 10:30, and that would be the first time he woke up. Not because he was hungry, but just because he wanted to be held or rocked. And he'd usually be up for about 45 minutes or so, then go back to sleep and wake up again at 1 o'clock for the same reason, go back to sleep after about a half hour, 45 minutes, wake up at 3:30, again at 5, and then normally for the day he'd get up around 8:30. So definitely not sleeping through the night very well. And so that's why we started the Ferber method. So on night 1, what we did was put Bradley to bed like normal, and then we decided to get very strict with the interval time frame of letting him cry it out. So he woke up at 10:30, and what I did was I set an alarm for 3 minutes. And after 3 minutes of him crying, I went in there, just kind of patted him on the back, sang to him a little bit, but I was only going to stay in there for up to 1 minute. So after 1 minute, he started to finally lay down a little bit better, close his eyes, but was not sleeping. But my minute was up, so I left the room, and as soon as I turned around, he started screaming again, which was really tough, but we were going to give this the full 4 days of an effort. So closed the door, set my alarm for 5 minutes, let him cry 5 minutes, went in there, same thing for 1 minute, and the key is do not pick up baby, just soothe them while they're in their crib. So pat their back, rub their back, pat their crib, hold their hand, sing, just talk to baby, whatever you think is best for 1 minute, and then after a minute, whether they're still crying, whether they're quiet, either way, you leave again, and then set your alarm for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes still crying, went back in there. Same thing, 1 minute left, and then set my alarm for 15 minutes, and then again for 15 minutes until he finally went back to sleep. So it is difficult, it's emotional, but if you are ready to end the troubled sleep patterns and you're at your wit's end and you want to give it a try, you basically just follow that pattern. You can pick your own time frame, but we did the 3, 5, 10, 15 minute time frame. And so night 1 was really hard. Night 2 was pretty much the same, also really difficult. And then by night 3, he only woke up I think once during the night. We did that same method, and by night 4 he slept through the night, and has slept through the night ever since. So I wanted to wait a couple months before I made this video just to make sure that it still is working. And every once in a while, you know, he will wake up and we'll use the same method, the Ferber method of the timed crying. But it really worked amazing, and so I just wanted to share our experience with the Ferber method and sleep training, and I hope you find it helpful. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, and take care.